AITA for expecting my boyfriend to pay me back for money I lent him. I, female, 24, have been with my boyfriend for 6 years. We met when I was 18, right as I was starting college, and he was a little older, already working full-time. We've basically grown into adulthood together. He's been my best friend, my support system, the person I share everything with. Our relationship hasn't been perfect, but I've always felt like we were on the same team. About a year and a half ago, he got himself into some pretty significant credit card debt. He never told me exactly how much, but from what I've gathered over time, it's enough that he's been stressed about it and trying to pay it off aggressively. I respected that. I understand how easy it can be to get caught up in debt, especially with how expensive everything has gotten. He told me he wanted to be responsible, get rid of it as fast as possible, and avoid interest stacking up. I supported him fully in that decision. But over the last 6 months, something started to shift. He was throwing most, sometimes all, of his paycheck straight into his credit card bills. He would occasionally come to me and say he needed help. It started small. Once, he asked me if I could send him some money so he could buy groceries. It was like $40, and he said he'd pay me back on Friday when he got paid. Friday came and went, and I didn't hear anything about it. I didn't bring it up because I figured it was just food, and I wanted to be understanding. Then, a few weeks later, it was $60. Then, 1 month, it jumped to $300. Another time, he needed $200. Most recently, it was another $100. Altogether, it's around $700 I've sent him over the course of about 6 months, and every single time, he has said he would pay me back when he got his paycheck, but he never has. Now, I'm not struggling financially, but I'm also not in a place where I can just casually part with hundreds of dollars and not notice. I live alone. I pay my own rent, bills, and student loans. I budget carefully. I'm not wealthy, but I've always tried to be generous with the people I care about, and when I give someone money, I truly don't do it expecting anything in return. But the thing is, he wasn't asking as a gift. He was saying over and over again that he would pay me back, and he never did. At first, I brushed it off. Then I found myself feeling weird every time he asked for more. I'd hesitate before sending it, wondering if this was just going to be another thing I'd never see again. It wasn't the money itself that started to get to me. It was the fact that I felt like he was slowly getting comfortable not following through. Like he didn't think it mattered or that I wouldn't care. So finally, after the last time when he asked for another 100, I sent it, but I also gently brought it up later that evening. I told him that I wanted to talk about something, and I made it very clear that it wasn't about the money, not really. I told him I understood he was going through a tough time, that I wanted to support him however I could, and that I didn't mind helping out occasionally. But I said that I noticed a pattern where he would say he'd pay me back and then wouldn't, and that it made me feel a bit taken for granted. I said I wasn't mad, but I wanted to be honest about how I was feeling before it built up into something worse. His reaction shocked me. He got really quiet at first, and then said that he was disappointed in me. He said he didn't expect that from me, that if the roles were reversed and I needed money, he would give it to me without hesitation and never ask for it back. He said he thought I was someone he could rely on, someone he could trust for help when things were tight. Then he said that now he saw that everything came with strings attached and that I was no different from everyone else who only does things if there's something in it for them. He even said it wasn't easy for him to ask for help and that I made him feel small for doing it. I was stunned. I felt like I had just been hit in the chest. I told him again that I wasn't upset about the money, but that I was hurt by the fact that he would promise to pay me back and then not follow through. I said that if he had just been upfront with me from the beginning and said, "Hey, I'm in a rough spot, and I don't know when I'll be able to pay you back," I would have been fine with that. But making promises over and never keeping them, that didn't sit right with me. It wasn't about dollars. It was about trust. He didn't really respond to that. He just kept saying that I made him feel like a burden, that he felt like he couldn't count on me now, and that it made him question a lot about our relationship. I cried that night alone because I couldn't understand how a conversation that I had approached so carefully and kindly had somehow turned me into the bad guy. I hadn't yelled. I hadn't accused him of anything harshly. I just wanted to express a boundary before it got worse. But instead, he made me feel like I had betrayed him. Since that night, Things have been awkward between us. He's been more distant. I don't think he's angry, but I know he's hurt. And now I feel like I'm walking on eggshells, afraid to bring anything up because I don't want to make it worse. But also, deep down, I feel like this was unfair to me. I've given, and the one time I asked for accountability, not repayment, just honesty, I was told I was selfish. So now I don't know where I stand. I never wanted the money back. I just wanted to feel like I wasn't being quietly taken advantage of. I feel guilty for making him feel hurt, but also confused about whether I was wrong to begin with. I wanted to be supportive. I wanted to be that person he could rely on, but I didn't want that to mean I had to silence my own discomfort to preserve his. So, Reddit, am I the asshole for expecting my boyfriend to pay me back, or at the very least for being honest about how frequently he's been asking and not following through? Should I have just kept quiet and let it go? Update. After that conversation, although we didn't break up, something shifted. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It wasn't a screaming match or a slam door. It was quieter than that, but I felt it,